It's time!
I wish I could be perfect, but in the wild swing markets of cryptocurrency, having a perfect trade record is next to impossible. I have loser coins that didn't pan out like I thought they were based on my research. And that is the topic for today, covering my losers, the crypto coins I was once bullish on but am no more, and the losers who may be down in price, but they are not down in spirit, development, or future potential. So soy un predator. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Because it's time for Chico Crypto.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
Well, let's start at the beginning. When I first became a crypto YouTuber, this was all the way back in August of 2017, and this was when I picked one of my first losers. As we can see from the video, I was talking about Neo and its ecosystem of projects. Ethereum was still in its infancy, just released to the public 2 years prior in July of 2015, and Neo was labeled as a China Ethereum. And I knew that eventually there are going to be competitors to Ethereum, sucking up its market cap. In the short term, this was not a bad call. From August to the peak of Neo in January of 2018, we can see the price went from around $8 all the way up to 200 smackaroos, a whopping 2,400% increase. But in the long term, it was a pretty bad call, as Neo has never been able to make a new all-time high, even in the last bull run, and the price today is back to where it was in August of 2017. I'm no longer bullish on Neo. I exited my position in 2018 and reinvested into projects like Chainlink and Synthetics, which I still hodl today. Although there is another Chinese loser coin from back in the day which hasn't performed well, yet I'm still bullish on it, and that is ELASTOS. I first covered ELASTOS in January of 2018, interviewing the founder Rong Chen in China. But looking at the ELASTOS price chart, a crash and burn, an even loserish, ugly chart than Neo. But why am I still holding ELASTOS and believe there is something there? Well, it has everything to do with China and Bitcoin. ELASTOS has real connections in China. The project's founders are both connected to China's top university, Tsinghua. Sunny Feng Han works there currently as a research fellow, and Rong Chen gets invited to speak all the time. Why is this important? Well, Tsinghua is where blockchain research is being done in China, where crypto is banned. From this CoinDesk article on the university, you understand its significance. Tsinghua University's finance school pushes blockchain studies by means of its Research Center for Blockchain, which focuses particularly on developing industrial applications of the technology. The finance school at Tsinghua University was built out of the graduate school of the Chinese Central Bank. Its students have gone on to play historic roles in the development of China's financial sector. ELASTOS connected to Tsinghua, and Tsinghua is where the finance of China gets built. But that's not all. ELASTOS has inked a newly announced partnership with the largest company in China, Alibaba, and its cloud division. A real partnership too, which will see the two entities build future Web3 technologies together. ELASTOS is connected in China, but what about Bitcoin? Well, everyone right now is talking about layer 2s of Ethereum, especially with Coinbase's base L2 mainnet launch. But I have a feeling Bitcoin layer 2s are going to get their turn in the spotlight soon, as the Bitcoin DeFi narrative picks up steam. And ELASTOS is one of the OG layer 2s of Bitcoin, beginning its merge mining sidechain with Bitcoin all the way back in 2018. If China jumps back into crypto, which I believe they've secretly been doing for years, and Bitcoin layer 2s take off, ELASTOS is going to do well. That's why I still hodl. But now let's fast forward to the bull run of 2021, where I'm going to cover the losers I picked, like OHM, KLIMA DAO, ALCHEMIST, PERPETUAL Protocol, and more.
Le who? her.
Am I holding any of these coins still? And if so, which ones and why? But before we get into that, it's time for a quick word from the sponsor of this video. And like always, the full details of our agreement can be found in the description. Islamic Coin. It's a native token of the HAQQ ecosystem, which is designed to create a crypto-based ethical financial sector within the Muslim world. The project is backed by the global influence of the Muslim world. With over 2 billion practicing Muslims worldwide, their goal may just become a reality. Because Islamic Coin is a leading authority within the Muslim crypto community, boasting over 1 million followers on Twitter. The project is backed by an expert Sharia board lead, Sheikh Dr. Nizam Mohammed, named by Bloomberg as a gatekeeper of the $2 trillion market for Islamic financial products. But also it's steered by experts in traditional and Islamic finance and has received unprecedented support from major ruling families in the Middle East. We're talking about UAE royalty on the executive board. But most impressive is their war chest. As you guys know, blockchain capital dried up over the last year, moving to AI or just leaving, while Islamic Coin raised a mind-blowing $400 million in funding. And for those of you who are already plugged in with the project, word on the street is a possibility of a massive airdrop soon. If you want to position yourself for the potential airdrop, you have to wait for the launch on September 1st. But before this, you can download the HAQQ wallet, as it's the only way to receive the ISLM token. The wallet is available through both the App Store and Google Play, and with over 200,000 downloads, the app is tried and true. People are getting ready for the drop, it seems. But you'll also want to make sure to participate in the community campaigns found on Guild and Galaxy. Make sure to look out for giveaways and the ambassador program to further increase your chances of receiving an airdrop. And of course, you'll want to stay up to date with their latest news and increased airdrop opportunities. To do this, follow their Twitter. So join me in following along. Links to Islamic Coin's Twitter, the HAQQ wallet, and their communities can be found in the description. Now back to my loser coins of 2021, beginning with my biggest disappointment, ALCHEMIST coin, missed. Checking out the missed chart, ugly as can be, from a peak of nearly $200 all the way down to just above $1 today. So am I still holding missed, and am I still bullish on it? Unfortunately, I'm still holding it, but I should have sold. I am no longer bullish on missed. Why? Well, terrible business decisions led to its demise. ALCHEMIST was going to be working with Uniswap on their MEV protection. There were leaked images and even pre-production working Uniswap branches that included MistX as being used. In addition to FlashBots Protect, which was built by the Mist team in collaboration with FlashBots, as seen from this tweet. Well, in November of 2021, FlashBots just used the work of the Mist team and then kicked them to the curb, as seen from this update from the ALCHEMIST team back then. We worked with FlashBots to plant the seed in FlashBots Protect, and it's now time to watch it grow as the FlashBots team work on developing it further independently. Well, guess who is partnered now? FlashBots and Uniswap, with many features of Uniswap v4 and Uniswap X being features that Mist came up with on their exchange, MistX, like front-running protection and MEV share. Mist didn't sign any contracts. They just built and took the word of Uniswap and FlashBots that they would be included, but got kicked out. It was just bad business decisions. What about Perpetual Protocol? I first covered Perpetual all the way back December of 2020 when it was around $1, which was an awesome trade because soon after it pumped all the way to $20. Although, as we can see after this, it's been down and down, and now perp tokens are about 50 cents. So do I still hodl perp? Well, no, I do not. Perp is a decentralized perpetual exchange, and I got rid of this bag when GMX started to make moves in this sector of crypto. I live streamed this move and call all the way back in September of 2021.
GMX is the perpetual on Arbitrum, so this is going to do well. I would expect it to rank upwards with Perpetual eventually.
Now I know some of you are wondering about my picks, OHM, Olympus DAO, and the original fork of OHM, focused on reducing carbon emissions, KLIMA DAO. Well, their price charts are about as ugly as can be, going from thousands of dollars down to $10 for OHM and about $1.75 for KLIMA. Am I still hodling and believe in these? Well, I sold half of my OHM around the $700 mark in late 2021, but still hodl half, and I hodl all my KLIMA DAO because I do believe in these projects. OHM has solidified itself as a DeFi innovator and is integrated across the DeFi landscape. Their new range-bound stability is keeping the token price stable during these turbulent times. And KLIMA DAO has had their heads down building solutions that will be used. The future value of KLIMA depends on growing volume of carbon offsets through KLIMA rails and the growing price of underlying carbon offsets, which is only going to increase in the future. And KLIMA is building the solutions that will use not only by Web3 companies, but also enterprises. Well, viewers, if you like this type of content, let me know down in the description, and I just might cover some more of my losers.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on my socials at Chico Crypto and at Leaks Blockchain on X, Chico Crypto on Instagram, and of course, come join the chat on Telegram, t.me/Chico Crypto. Cheers, viewers. I'll be a loser with you next time.
The most trustless name in news.